And I just pray God's richest blessings upon him all the days of his life. Thank you.
Yeah, you bring back a lot of memories. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention your brothers, Riley.
Right.
Yeah,
I appreciate
he's
that.
gone on. Yeah, I think he
also,
played for Billy Bob.
He also played for Billy Bob. He
Yeah,
sure did.
good person. Coleman said y'all meant a lot to me growing up, and
Well,
the
I played
memories I
on
had.
that dirt court you had at your
You
house.
sure did. I remember.
That's
you
where I
playing.
learned to play. In
And,
fact, Mr. Gray said the last thing to me at the class reunion in 2010 when he went out, he said, "Esther May, I regret that the girls had to go to the center. See, we only played to the center back then, and now it's all over the court." And he said, "I've thought of many a time what it would have been like if the girls played all over the court when you was playing."
Yeah, did you play with my cousin Nancy Jenkins and maybe Mally?
Yeah, well, Mally was younger than me, and I helped coach the Pee Wee team. In fact, Billy Bob let me carry him to Slate Springs one time when he had something else that he did. But that was later in high school that I played with Nancy and Patsy Brazier and the Cost girls. But
Yeah, you mentioned Slate Springs. That's another one of the old schools. We had them just scattered everywhere. And some of my best memories, and I'm sure you, is like we'd have a play once a year. Now I'm into acting, and when it would be on Thanksgiving where everybody would come up and join in and
right.
have dinner on the ground and all
Yeah.
that stuff. With some of the years gone by that meant a lot to me growing
Yes.
up that people don't get to experience nowadays.
That's right.
All
We
that.
on Thanksgiving Day and the earlier day before, you remember probably, when we played Pittsburgh on Thanksgiving Day every year. We had 4 games, you know, we had the B team games too
Yeah,
back then.
right.
And I remember that's the only time I could remember it snowing that early in the fall. Like we had played ball there, and as you said, we had lunch on that table outside that schoolhouse, and it went all the way down. And we went home that afternoon, and that night it snowed. We played it in short sleeves that day, and it snowed that night. But I rode Mr. Budd's school bus, and we had a lot of fun on that. And
Yeah.
him and Miss Ruby were fine people. I'll always remember
I
them.
appreciate you saying that. Yeah, those years when we consolidated, we lost all that
True.
we had. We had a great school out there at Ellard. You know, it was there 12 years, and Donald, Boyd, and me, we were some of the last graduating class. We started that new brick school was there for 12 years. We started school there, and then the year we graduated, all of them consolidated, and we didn't realize what we were actually missing. I don't think anybody would have cared if the black community went to school with us. We were far beyond that.
That's right.
You know, it wouldn't matter. We would have got a few more basketball players, I guess, but people didn't realize what we were losing with all these little schools gone.
That's right, and Ellard School was always taught sportsmanship, good sportsmanship. We had that name. Ellard always had that name. I never heard anyone say anything against him because that's one main thing that was taught, good sportsmanship.
Yeah, well, thank you, Esther May.
Thank you.
Noel Collins. I started the school in 1938, so you could sort of see where the gray hair come from. I saw Billy Bob play before we ever had a gym out there on the dirt court and all. And in 1948, Ellard was playing in North Mississippi at Oxford, and he come up there to the tournament. Jamie and Brooks, Leon Lee Arthur were on that team, and I don't know where he had the job then or not, but he come to Ellard in the fall of '48. That's whenever he started to coach us. I was on the team in 48 and 49 and 49 and 50. We talk about different defenses and all. Playing for him, if you didn't do like he instructed you, he didn't get mad at you. He showed you how to do it, but he expected you to do that from then on. And I can remember right now in 1950, we played Calhoun City 6 times that year and beat them 5, and they won 3rd in the state. But we were so much better than them, it was pitiful when we played. But I just want to say Billy Bob is one of the greatest friends that I got or ever expect to have, because he was the same from the first time you seen him till after all of these years. He was a great fella to know.
Yeah, you mentioned him playing. Did he play at Ellard?
Yeah, well, he come from Parker Salem to Ellard when he graduated up there in the 8th grade.
That's another little school that we had.
And
around.
talk about schools, there was 8 high schools in the county in it's 2 years I played on the team. So they had a lot of invitational tournaments that you played in. Sometimes you played 3 games on Saturday, didn't you, Jamie?
Right. Yeah. So that's your family's always meant a lot to me. Of course, Boyd. I went to school with Boyd, and he passed on a while back, and I don't think we ever got to play for Billy Bob, but anyway, real close. Everybody was close back then. Lived across the creek from each other, you know. And that's what we did. It was just we didn't have all this internet and stuff to take up our time. We actually got out and played. We didn't play on the cell phones. It was good old days.
But your folks moved up here in like Christmas of 1938. They bought that place.
Yeah, well, see, you telling me something I didn't even know there. That's before I remember. Yeah, Daddy bought that place before they even built the road down through there. Yeah, sure did. Yeah, that's amazing, Noel, really is. What about, is any of your sisters here that played for?
No, see, he didn't start coaching basketball at Ellard till what, about 52 or 3, estimate?
I didn't know Betty Joe. I remember when Betty Joe and Mally played, they were just a year or so above me.
But I believe Billy Bob had come over here to Bruce.
Yeah, he had.
Yeah, he had. Yeah, that's when the AA schools, y'all used to just tear them up all the time. Grenada, anybody that was, they were A school.
Then there wasn't any classification. It was all
the same thing. Yeah. Well, I'd say the bigger schools then, I suppose. Well, yeah, thanks a lot, Noel.
I'm Janice Schneider. I played basketball for Billy Bob 4 years, 48, 49, 50, and 51. He was a good Christian man, a good teacher, and a good basketball player. And I thought the world of him. And I just can say that Ellard was a good school, and we had a good community and a good teachers. And I thank the world of Mr. Gray, because he was a good Christian man, and he was a good man, and he treated everybody fair. I'm proud to be here, and I'm thankful for this meeting.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud to have you, for you to be here. We live right across the hill from you, actually, I guess, with Bud and Bobby and all that. Thought a lot of world of your brother Rupert and the entire family. You know, what's some of the stuff? Did y'all ever win any championships or anything?
Do what?
Did y'all ever win any championships, tournaments, or anything when you were playing?
We won North Mississippi Championship in 49 and 50. North Mississippi.
Yeah. Did you get to go on the state or
We went to state, played one game, got beat 1 point.
crooked referees, I guess,
Yeah,
pretty much.
but me and old Bobby, Neil Coleman, Billy Thompson, Noel Collins, and then a bunch of the other boys, but we played on the main team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we had a good school at Dillon.
Oh, it's incredible how we lost that school and
That
had,
hurt the community.
oh, the community, yeah, with
Community.
Thanksgiving dinners and on
We
the
used-
ground and all that stuff.
We used to play basketball and the gym would be full of people.
Yeah.
Lots of people, farmers had to work late. They come right on in their work clothes like I'm doing now.
Yeah, Daddy drove the school bus. He was first to ever get a big yellow school bus to carry the basketball players.
Is that thing still on?
Yeah, we were talking. Now.
Okay,
Keep
okay.
going, yeah.
The last year I went to school, I drove the bus for your daddy when they
Yeah.
were moved to Grenada
Yeah,
and drove them basketball games and the school route every day
yeah,
for $1 a day. $1 a day.
yeah.
But I
Yeah,
enjoyed Dillon. Didn't nobody have no money, but we had lots of fun.
absolutely.
And lots of pretty girls.
Oh, boy, yeah, yeah.
Now, I want to continue on with the years. Won't mention much about the 53-54 season, where I was fortunate to make the team under Paul Kitchens as a sophomore. Would like to talk about that a lot, but this is for Coach Gray's documentary. But when he moved to Bruce, he started us out as inefficient basketball players and began from the fundamentals to mold us into a really good basketball team. He taught me to shoot a hook shot, which had tremendous success with that. But to make the interview shorter, we won most of our games during the 54, 55, and 55 and 56 seasons. But the highest honor we could achieve was being third in the state of Mississippi. Probably beat two teams that might be considered better than us, but still hard work and dedication paid off, and we beat some really good teams in the state tournament, but failed to our nemesis, Philadelphia, which, if I'm not mistaken, finally won the 56 tournament. But just wanted to take this time to thank Coach Gray for being the dedicated coach he was and the good Christian man that he is. Thank you.
Yeah, well, let me ask you a question
Okay.
here. Since they called you Slim, I suppose you were the tallest man on the team. What height?
Well, people used to tell me I was 7 feet tall, but they lacked a little bit on that. Seriously, I played at 6'6".
Wow, that was tall for back then, absolutely. Yeah, and it was interesting that you mentioned Billy Bob. He would always build those teams from nothing the first of the year, losing every game, and then end up going to state most of the time, as I recall. Anyway, very good.
But he was successful enough in coaching me that I was chosen for the All-State team.
Yeah, and I thought that hook shot was interesting too. That's kind of passed by the way nowadays.
You know, making a comeback.
Right.
But it's called a jump hook now.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Thank you.
My name is Lawrence King. I live in Bruce, Mississippi. I was born in Bruce, Mississippi, and lived here pretty much my whole life. I guess I can say some of the most important times of my life was when I was in high school in Bruce, Mississippi. And I was acquainted with my basketball coach, Mr. Billy Bob Gray. I find, and my memories go way back to that time when I played basketball in Bruce, Mississippi, and he was my coach. He was one of the finest people I was ever around. He was not only a great basketball coach, but is an inspiration to my life. I think a whole lot. I thought about him yesterday. how he impressed me during my life. I think about him quite often because of the performance that he did coaching us boys at Bruce High School. I well remember one time when we were playing basketball in my senior year, and I was not that greatest of a basketball player, but on times, occasions, I would get pretty warm, and he would tell the other boys, say, throw in the ball. And I remember that very well because the other boys had played for him for years, and I only played for a couple of years, but he believed in when one guy in the court became warm to give him the ball, and let him go for it. And that's one thing that I really was impressed about Billy Bob. He did not let anything political stand in his way, and the most important thing I guess I remember about Billy Bob was his dedication, because we started practicing that year in the summer, June, July, in the old gym at Bruce High School, and he was there every night, as hot as it was, no air conditioner, not anything, but he came there very faithful to work with us boys, and it paid off that year for us and for him.
What years was that you played?
I played in 56 and 57.
Did y'all win any state championships, or?
We did not win the state championships, but because we started so early practicing in 57 that our percentage of efficiency in shooting basketball was close to 85%. We were well known throughout the country for our hitting the goal. We had a pretty fair-sized team. We had a great coach, and our desire to win was extremely good.
Did you play college ball?
I did not. I had several opportunities to go. I had 3 scholarship offers waiting on me when we came back from Jackson. But for some reasons, I chose not to go.
Yeah, I remember you playing. You were the shooter. You would really be hot out there. And, what about some of the guys you played with?
Well, I played with some great athletes. I played with Slim Easley and the Bryant boy. I can't remember.
Jerry Bryant.
What?
Jerry.
Jerry Bryant, who was a transfer to our school. Robert Brackett. Danny Caldwell, Alfred Waits.
Eugene Hollis.
What?
Hollis.
Eugene Hollis, who was not only a good basketball player, but a personal friend of mine. I had the opportunity to play with some great guys. Slim Easley was extremely tall. Shot a long hook shot, who was very good, explosive.
I remember Danny playing at Ole Miss, and he was one of the best back in those days. Very cool guy.
Yeah.
Known Danny over the years. Good person.
If we had a 3-point shot at that time, Danny Caldwell and Eugene Hollis would have.
I always admired you as the shooter now. I just remember you doing that jump shot out there.
Well,
Tearing it up.
it took me a long time to master that.
What's the highest honor you received as a basketball player, Bruce?
Well, I made All-State in 1957, which to me was as good an honor as I could ever achieved.
What about Billy Bob? Do you remember any specific things or incidences while y'all were playing, other than beating the stew out of Ellard out there? But
I remember one particular incident that is still with me today that I guess he impressed me a lot with. We were having practice one day, and a boy by the name of Benny McKibben, a little small guy, would come across the court, and every time they throw me the ball, he would tie it up. He'd jump in there and latch onto it like a dog. And I'd have him 4 or 5 times, and I got tired of it, so I just, next time it came to me, he jumped in and latched it up.